Hello and welcome to Christ Church. My name is Clint and I'm just one of several pastors here at Christ Church. We believe that the local church ought to be led by a plurality of equal authority, biblically qualified elder pastors. And some of those pastors are on staff, some of those pastors are not on staff, but it is our pleasure and joy to be leading this church in gospel-centeredness, in Jesus-loving, Bible-saturated worship and community and mission. And so we like to categorize things as flowing out of the gospel, this baseline belief that we are all sinners and that we desperately need and have in Jesus Christ through his life and death and resurrection, salvation and forgiveness forever, and a hope both in this life and beyond this life. And so we want to gather fellow believers and invite the city to come and experience Jesus and to worship him for that gospel, to understand that gospel, to believe in that gospel, and to worship God because of that gospel. So this upward focus on the Lord is our primary focus as a church. But we believe that out of that upward focus in worship comes an inward focus on community, to love other believers, to press into one another's lives, to get messy when needed about one another's sin and one another's struggles and one another's burdens, praying for one another, holding one another accountable, serving and loving one another, and even confronting and forgiving one another as needed. So this inward focus on community, to disciple one another and to serve one another. And then beyond that, we believe that because of the gospel and because of our love toward God in worship, we ought to have an outward focus as well, looking at our city and loving those who don't know Jesus. And sometimes we like to say, don't know Jesus yet. We long to serve people in both word and deed, sharing the love of Christ in word, the message of the gospel, and our need for Jesus, and sharing our own struggles and how we fall short of the glory of God and have been saved by his grace alone. We also want to come alongside those hurting in the city who need unique help. So we really try to aim for the marginalized peoples of the city, particularly peoples that the Old Testament talks about God getting a little upset with his people for ignoring, namely the orphan and the widow, those experiencing material poverty, and the foreigner, the Bible calls them, those who are displaced from their own homes for education or for other reasons, maybe even refugees or immigrants coming to the city and needing help, needing home, needing hospitality. We want God's people to be on the front lines of that. So we meet in the heart of the city. We planted back in August of 2016 in the heart of the city, and we want to be a church for every part of the city. Some people commute downtown to meet us on Sunday evenings, and some people live right across the street. Our hope is that the diversity of this city will be reflected in our church as much as possible, and that God's glory will be pictured in this unique body here in the heart of the city. Won't you join us?